All right. We back at it. What's going on, nephews? We out here for another edition of Ask Your Uncles. Got with us a very special guest, out here from we got Uncle T on the mic. Uncle T, how you doing, man?
Hey man, I'm good, man. Highly blessed, man. All is
Yeah.
well here, man. I'm just living life, man. I'm loving it.
Hey, I feel you. I feel you. Hey, man. Like I say, man, I always just kind of jump right into things, man. Like I do say, I do appreciate you taking the time out to do this. Like I said, we're just trying to just get some content out for the fellas. These young fellas, make sure they have some words of wisdom from somebody if they can't get it from nowhere else. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
what we want like to kick it off. I like to, make sure my guests get familiar with everybody. So, I want everybody to get familiar with my guests, so to say. So, uh, just give us a little background, man. What was your upbringing like, man? Like, where you from?
Cool. Well, man, I'm from High Point, North Carolina, man. Born and raised, semi-raised, I moved around a little bit, but High Point, North Carolina bound. Moved around a little bit to Memphis, Tennessee when I was, I believe, around seventh grade.
Mm-hmm.
So that was cool. So that kind of gave me a little bit of different perspective on life and who
Mm-hmm.
I was as a person, as a young man, young adult, young black male adult growing
Right,
up. So then moved back to Charlotte, North Carolina for a little while, and then back to High Point. So I've been around a little bit, man. But all those kind of places have shaped my experiences one way or the other. So, I'm now residing here in Houston, Texas, man, or, whereabouts, and, just here with the fam, man, just grinding.
okay. Say out there in Houston, Texas, huh?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
okay. That's all right. That's all right, man. That's the spot to be, man. That's some nice weather out there, man.
Hey,
You
man,
know,
yeah,
think
definitely.
well, thinking all your travels, like you said, you moved around a lot. So like, like can you remember, the time when you was growing up? Like, well, what you wanted to be when you grew up, man?
Man, you know what? It changed a few times, I would say, man. I grew up wanting to be an architect.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I did say that for the longest time. I wanted to be an architect, man. I wanted to get into some kind of engineering, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was real good at math and I was real good at just angles and just understanding how the things, put together.
Mm-hmm.
So I gravitated towards that at a young age, man, and it gave me a different perspective. I apply everything I do to life. So it was like if you can make something uh fit, it's kind of like you get that completeness,
Mm-hmm.
and then you just get that instant gratification. So for me, it just propelled me to kind of want to figure things out. So that's why that was cool, man. And then going forward, uh going to college, man, it just changed. I just had a different outlook, man. I just wanted to be about business. I just everything about business I just wanted to be a part of.
Yeah.
I went to school for finance.
Yeah.
No, I went to school for accounting,
Mm-hmm.
and I changed my major to finance later on.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really like accounting, so
Mm-hmm.
um, and then from there, I always wanted to just be involved in some kind of business. I was going to open my own club. I used to say, man, I want to open my own club,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
I wanted to do that for a little while, and I tried. I did a little bit, here and there, man. And I always just like to see people have fun. I just thought
Yeah.
life was just about not about having fun, but
Yeah.
there's some good things that come out of life that you need to celebrate. And I just like to
Right.
see the smiles on people's faces. So
Right.
that's what that was about, man. And so I just
Yeah.
took that and ran with it. And here I am now, in the accounting field. So go figure, full circle.
Okay. Okay. And so what do you do now? What's going on now?
So I'm an area director of finance
Mm-hmm.
for a uh, hotel management company that owns and operates properties everywhere, all over. But we've got three properties here as a resort here, the Marriott and a Hilton brand.
Right.
And I oversee the accounting structure department of all those properties.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, all right, man. Well, yeah, you talking about bounce around. Yeah, yeah, that's a little leap from architect right there.
Hey man, hey, yeah, I've been,
Yeah.
I kind of fell into it though, man.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where you feel like God's pointing you in a direction. You just
Yeah.
kind of keep pushing, and then you find yourself in the area you didn't even know you belong. You should have been in the first place.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Well, that was so looking back though, like what kind of kid was you, man? Like was it, you know, like if you could think now, like was it easy for you to take advice when you was younger, or did you kind of just like shuck it off like, nah, man, like, you know what I mean? Like what is that like?
man, I was a sponge, man. I'm gonna
Yeah.
tell you, I was a sponge. Like
Mhm.
I always, man, all the coaches when I played for sports, all the coaches always told me, it's like, Tim, like I like you, man, because you coachable. Like you just
Mhm.
listen,
Yeah.
you apply what you learn, excuse me.
Yeah.
And so, man, I always been like that, man. I just been a sponge, man. I wanted to know what I didn't know.
Mhm.
I wanted to look at the other side and be like, how do I get there? And then I
Yeah.
listened and applied those principles that I learned from different people, along the lifetime.
Yeah.
But no, that's kind of how I was, man. I was always involved in something. Involved in sports, man. My pops,
Yeah.
you know, kept us in sports for,
Mhm.
gosh, since I can remember, man. I was
Yeah.
playing basketball, football, baseball every season. It felt like there was something that was going on, and it kept
Yeah.
us out of trouble.
Yeah.
Uh, you know what I mean? So that's kind of the mentality I always had, man. You just stay busy, stay on the grind, and then it makes it a lot harder for you to get derailed.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the answer to pull it all together, man. I'm a
Yeah.
fun cat, man. I like to have fun,
Yeah.
relax, take life as it comes type of thing. I'm not a guy that was like kind of just social butterfly, always being somebody's face and all that. I'm more
Right.
reserved and
Right.
uh that kind of guy, man. But cool cat, man. I just like to take life as it comes, man.
Well, like you said, I know you mentioned your father, helping you, steering you a little bit. Like, but like, did you have a mentor when you was growing up? Like, you like, was there somebody that you like strive to be like more so than others?
Oh man. So yeah, man, it was weird because I started off having mentors that were more like virtually, man. Like
Mm,
I was a movie buff, right?
mm,
So I look at movies sometimes and I see a character, man, and I just remember like, Bill Cosby or like gosh, just Rock, man.
mm,
Like, some of those guys and they weren't like, well, Bill Cosby was, but like some
yeah,
characters weren't. So,
yeah,
I always learn from them, and that's what I had growing up,
yeah,
So I watch movies. I like to do that. So I take what I can, get from them.
yeah,
But further from that, man, it just kind of gravitated towards me, like some of my professors or
right,
things like that, And did have some professors in college that I looked up to,
mm,
and so they became my mentors, and kind of helped me out a lot, man. Gosh,
yeah,
I can tell you, helped me out a whole lot.
yeah. Well, thinking like that, on that same line, like who did you not wish to be like? Did you not like see some guys you like, man, I don't want to be like them cats? Like who did you kind of like look at as like the type of guy that you was like, nah, I know that's not the type I want to be like.
Yeah, I mean, I always, man, I didn't want to be the loudest guy in the room, man.
Mhm.
Like that was never my thing. I would see some cats or just see somebody that's just like lively, and that's them. There ain't nothing
Mm.
wrong with that,
Right,
There ain't
right, right, right.
nothing wrong with that at all. But that just wasn't me, man. I just like to, kind of chill and just, peep out the scene a little bit and, be my own person. And then if I can't be my own person around you, then that we just didn't mesh. Our,
Right,
our spirits just won the line like that. And again, that's all well and good. It,
right.
it just wasn't something that I was that I would gravitate towards. So, but yeah, man, that's you know,
That's what's up. Now I know you. I noticed that you mentioned, Bill Cosby and of course, Charles Dutton, that played Rock. But
mhm.
like, what else? Like, what name? What's a famous black person that you was kind of like, man, like you kind of like admired, and why'd you admire that person?
Oh man, you know what, man? Like I said, man, I'm a movie buff, man.
Mm,
So I look to TV a lot, and good, wrong, or indifferent, man. I took what I can from
mm,
those figures, man. So I was always into the historic, like the Malcolm X's and the Martin Luther King
mm,
Juniors, and gosh, man, the list goes on and on and
mm,
on. So that kind of was something that I gravitated to right away, man. That was
yeah,
just off the top of my head, So I always like to see this just, positive influence in people's lives, man.
Right.
So whenever I got a chance to see something like that, it's just something that I gravitates toward. So
Yeah.
but you take something from everything, man. I was a big Godfather type of, I switch it up on them.
Okay.
I watch
Yeah.
Godfather.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's some key things in Godfathers that people don't know, man. You look at it,
Yeah.
one of the famous quotes, I think the guy was like, what do you say? Something about a man that don't take care of his family is not a man, or something like that.
Yeah.
Those kind of things always stuck with me, man. So,
Oh,
that's just me, just in my mindset and how I like movies, and I take what I can, but those just really stick out.
okay. Okay. Yeah. I like how you mentioned that, man, don't take care of his family, not a man, uh like would you say that now, like, you know, what is a great quality that a young man needs to, gain in order for him to be considered a man, a good man?
You know what, man? That's something I teach my kids, man. I got two boys, man. One is about to turn 10
Mhm.
next month.
Mm,
Uh, no, I'm sorry. I said that wrong.
mm.
Man, God, they're getting old, man. Good gracious, boy. I'm just like, good gracious. I can't even
Yeah.
believe it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're about to be teenagers. I was just
Yeah.
thinking about that. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So,
Yeah.
jeez.
Yeah.
Man, I'm sorry. What was your question, man? I got lost in that for a second, man. What was your question?
No,
Ah,
it was more of like, what's a good quality for a man, for a young man to learn, that would can make him a better man as he get older.
I say, man, number one, hands down, man, integrity.
Hmm.
Gosh, man, if you can learn that as a young man,
Mm.
I try to teach my kids that all the time. It's like one of the last thing I say to them before they go to school. Man, I drop
Yeah.
them off in the mornings and I say, have integrity.
Yeah.
And they know what that means now. But
Yeah.
what you do in the dark,
Yeah.
it comes to light.
Yeah.
And people don't realize that. So I mean, if you practice that person in the dark,
Hmm.
then people are going to notice that in the light.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, it's hard to kind of grasp sometimes at a young age because you just want to do this, you're having fun, you peer pressure, you got all this going on, man. But
Right.
gosh, man, if you could just hang on to that integrity, man, and keep that for yourself, like just hang on to it.
Yeah.
It'll take you so far. It'll take you so far, man. Not that alone, but if you got that, man, I say that's one of the founding principles that I stand by. Try
Yeah.
to.
Oh, that's what's up, man. That's what's up. Yeah. Yeah. Integrity. Doing what's right when no one's watching. Yeah, I feel you. I feel you.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
would think I learned that a little late in life. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? But in that context though, like, what's something that you wish someone had told you when you were younger that you otherwise had to learn a little later in life?
Bruh, save your money. Like I wish that somebody had sat down with me and had that economic conversation, like
Mm,
at a deeper level. Like,
yeah.
we had our own experiences. My pops tried, he taught me a lot. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
He
Right.
taught me the man who I am, so all credit due there. But
Yeah.
man, have somebody sat me down and been like, yo, this is what a stock is. Like, do you
Yeah,
know what
okay.
a stock is? Do you know how to invest this money? Like, this is what happens. This is what compound interest is. This is
Yeah.
what. I wish somebody would sat down with me and kind of told me that
Yeah.
a lot younger, man. I'm learning it now,
Mm,
and not that it's too late, but had I learned it then, I probably would
mm.
have had a different mindset growing up.
And when you say it's saving, what do you mean? Like what, the kid, they get a little part-time job, they got, they get maybe $200 every 2 weeks, what they got to save, what they got to put up? What?
Man, I'm telling you, man, you need to at least put up like 20% of that, bro. Like, you
Mm,
got to at least set that off to your side, man, and
yeah.
just bank that. Like, if it's something you can afford right now because of that, then
Uh-huh.
that whatever that item is you're trying to get just need to wait.
Yeah.
You gotta really set yourself up for success, because there's going to be something. There's going to be hurdles along the road. There's going to be something that's going to happen.
Right.
So if you just practice that at a young age, when you get older, you get a little bit more income, then you get a bit more discipline.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden now you've got a vehicle now that you can use to invest in other things that gives you even more return.
Right.
Man, yeah, I would definitely just sit down with somebody younger myself and be like, yo, here's the framework, this is what you need to do.
Right.
This is what I'm gonna show you how to do.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. And so would you say that is that financial literacy, is that kind of like something that's missing in the Black community right now that you would think? Or
Oh yeah, definitely, for
right,
sure, man. I mean, there's a lot of people out there, man, that just don't, know what to, they get a lump sum of money and they want to go buy this or they want to go buy that.
yeah,
But you know, and don't get me wrong, man. I'm a person also that just likes to enjoy yourself. If it's something that you want,
mhm,
like if you can afford it, at the same time, it's something small you've been saving up, like
right,
do your proper due diligence and save and do all that. But
right,
save for something that you really want that can do like it put something in your life,
yeah,
that can invest in you at the same time, whether it's a class, whether it's a certificate,
yeah,
like something like that, man.
yeah.
So that's why that financial literacy, man, is so very, very important.
Mm. Is that the only thing that you would think that's missing in the Black community, or is there anything else that's missing uh, as far
No,
as what?
no, I mean, I'm sorry, I'm going to cut you off,
No,
but
you
no,
good.
I definitely would say, man, we just need to learn how to work on yourselves a little bit more, man. I think a lot of times we're too proud to say we need help. You know,
Okay.
I think there's a lot of mental illness going on. I think there's a lot of instability in the
Mm,
Black man and mentality of a Black man that I feel like we could hone in and help develop a little bit by just saying, look, I need some help, you
okay.
know, um, and I think that's missing these days, and especially in the Black community. As a young Black man, you don't have all the answers, right? You're still trying to figure out this life shit. You got to
Right,
try
right,
to
right,
figure this out.
right.
So while you're doing that, talk to somebody who've been through what you've been through,
Yeah.
and help let them help guide you. If I was, blessed enough to have like a bigger brother,
Mhm.
and people, my sisters, two
Yeah,
sisters that I could bounce
yeah,
things off of, and I was the youngest, so I absorbed all that, right? So I had kind of my own type of therapy, if you will, because I
yeah,
would navigate through that, and they had to figure that out
yeah,
themselves. I got the
yeah.
benefit from it. Yeah, so,
Yeah, yeah.
I look, my brother over there doing this. I was like, oh damn, he shouldn't have did that. All right, I ain't gonna do that. I know not to do that. You
Yeah, yeah.
So I had that benefit, man, but a lot of people don't have that, man. So I would say definitely sit down with somebody that you trust and just talk to them, man. Just have a conversation. Everything ain't got to be about, oh, F this, F that. I'm gonna do this. Like, nah,
Yeah,
pump your brakes, just get your feelings out there, man.
yeah,
There's nothing wrong with that.
yeah.
So
And you saying when you say ask for help, like in their own circle, like their own environment, somewhere they're comfortable.
somebody you're comfortable with. I mean, you don't have to go ask your friend who got a big mouth and go tell everybody,
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
so you find somebody that you trust, like
Mhm.
trust. It
Right.
could be an adult, it could be anybody. Be like, hey, can I talk to you for a second?
Yeah,
Go to your parents. If you don't have parents around, go to somebody, an uncle, like this,
yeah,
come and say, hey, what do y'all think? Like, I'm going through this. What do you think I should do?
yeah.
If we had that, man, if I could sit down like what you and I doing right now, now listening to myself talk, man, that would
Right,
be so instrumental, I think, in the development of my
yeah,
mentality.
right.
Uh, so that's just again, kudos to you and what you're doing. But this is a good platform, man. I like this.
Well, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it, man. And I do want to kind of harp on that what you mentioned about being an adult. Like, I guess a lot of kids they come out the gate feeling like they're grown. You know what I mean? And so, like, my thought would be like, well, hold on, like, what gives you that confidence to feel like you're grown? Like, what, in your opinion, what is an adult? How do you get to be an adult? What is that? When do you make that? When is that distinction between adolescence and adulthood, in your opinion?
Yeah, yeah, man. I'm telling you, that first decision that you make that affects your life,
Yeah,
that's you're an adult.
yeah,
When you figure you want to do this and you want to have a girlfriend and you want to do all this and you make a decision and you got to live with that decision,
yeah,
you're an adult. So
yeah,
you got to make adult decisions. You know what I
yeah.
mean? You may
Uh,
not have all the freedoms and all the
mm,
things like that some adults have, but
right.
when you got to live with the lifelong decision
Mhm,
or life altering decision, then
right.
yeah, man, you didn't cross that threshold, man. You need to reevaluate.
Well, again, I want to kind of harp on that because you mentioned you threw out first you want to have a girlfriend, and I
Mhm.
was like, okay, so yeah, and I guess it goes back to, it ties in again to what you mentioned earlier about about oh man, what was I going to say about when you mentioned that mental health, like it's okay to ask for help and things like that.
Yeah.
So how do you advise that a young man handles rejection, whereas it's from an employer, whereas it's from a girl that he likes, or just maybe it's like I said, an employer, occupation, the girl he like, and just rejection in life. Maybe an idea. Maybe he wants to try to, you know, I don't know, start his own company or something like that. How has he handled that failure?
Yeah.
How do you advise that?
Oh, I mean, that's big, man. But that goes to, upbringing too, man. You got to learn too at a young age that everything ain't gonna come to you easy. So
Mm,
hopefully you don't have people in your life that's enabling you to just walk through life without having any consequences, or somebody
mm,
saying no to you, or
mm,
you're getting shot down, because that's gonna happen. That's a part of life.
yeah,
It's all about how you deal with it,
yeah,
right? So I mean, my advice, man, would just be it's gonna sound short and plain and simple, but get over it. Get over it. Like,
get over yourself or get over
get
it.
over it. Get over yourself. If you're feeling yourself, if
Yeah,
over this, the girl you've been looking for, this
yeah,
job, you like, somebody say no, guess
yeah,
what? It ain't for you.
yeah,
It's that simple. That just
yeah.
ain't for you.
Just
And
keep
you
it
can't
moving, huh?
force it. Yeah, you can't do nothing about it. Like,
Yeah,
don't waste your time doing something you have no
yeah.
control over.
Right, right, right.
Only thing that you can do, and I tell people at my job, man, I just did a review for my assistant, and one thing that I told them was, you just want to your preparation to meet opportunity.
Right.
So you need to prepare for that opportunity, and then if that opportunity comes and it's not the right one,
Mm,
it does not mean that you're not prepared, but that just ain't for you. So at
yeah,
the end of the day, you gotta chalk that up and say, okay, this one ain't for me, but I'm gonna get this next one.
yeah,
This one ain't for me, but this might not be working out too good, but that's okay. I'm gonna try this, and I'm gonna get this next one.
yeah.
So you just gotta bounce back, man. You can't let life nose knock you down. You gotta get back up and just say, okay, I'm gonna try again.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, and I like that. Like saying keep be persistent. You know what I mean, and
Yeah.
we are relentless, really, in a certain aspect of that. You know what I mean, and is that and like you said, that's something that you would advise someone when it comes to open their own business. Like, what advice would you give them with that?
Yeah, man. I mean, I guess that's kind of the same thing, man. I went through that too, man. It's just like you're gonna get several no's, man, but
Mm,
you gotta dust yourself off, and you gotta keep going. You gotta maybe that formula didn't work. Let me
mm,
revise that formula real quick.
yeah,
Let me figure out that right, formulation. So next time I know how to do an elevator pitch, or to speak to somebody who can possibly help. You gotta just move and shuck and drive, man, and it's, sooner or later it's gonna work out for you.
yeah,
It may not happen right away.
yeah. And would you if okay, so would you switch it up though? Like, so say his kids, he's saying, man, I got a nice jump shot, and everybody says that he's good, and like he want to be an athlete, pro athlete, What kind of advice would you give a youngster in that regard?
Oh man, I mean, don't first of all, don't listen to everybody that's saying that you're great, because if
Mm,
you always listen to somebody saying that you're great, man, you ain't got nobody to tell you that you suck. Like, that's gonna be the recipe for disaster.
yeah,
So, don't feed into all the hype. Um, just know who you are, man. It just goes down to just being centered and just knowing who you are.
yeah,
Um, you know who you are, you know how you operate, then trust that, and then press forward. But
mhm,
um, that definitely would be my advice in that regard, man. Just don't listen to everybody that's just feeding in your ear, because a lot of times they could be your best friend at just telling things that you like to hear.
yeah,
Um, but as long as you having people around you that challenge you, man,
mm,
like, if you're the smartest person in your group, got to get a new group. You know,
okay,
you,
okay,
you can't just be the smartest person. Like, you got to have a new group, and
yeah,
it's okay to still be around some of those people at different times in your life.
yeah,
But at some point you got to say, okay, I'm at this level now. I need to figure out what this group over there is doing, and let
yeah,
me let me get a part of that group.
yeah.
So that would be my advice on that.
That's what's up. That's what's up. And just kind of got the dog wanting me to take him out, but But just kind of, I want to caveat off of that, kind of pivot. But in the sense where, you know, if you're talking to a young man and you're asking them, you know, about their own future and how they, you know, should plan to be and everything like that. You know, when they go out here and they're trying to find that girl and they got to handle that rejection to get that yes, like what qualities should they really be looking for out in these women out here? I mean, you know, we got, you know, it's Instagram and, you know, Snapchat, and you know, they killing it, but right now, but it's like the content and the
Yeah.
character of these women are being, they're not really being questioned, you know. So I kind of wonder, in your opinion, what kind of things you would, you know, you would advise young men to look for in a woman when they out here trying to find, you know, that one for themselves.
Yeah, I mean, you just, I guess for me, man, it always comes down to yourself, man. Like, are you firm in who you are before you try to find somebody else to compliment you, right?
Okay, okay.
Right. So I think that's where a lot of people get lost because they don't know who they are and they emulate or they simulate, I should say, what they see on TV and
Yeah,
in a partner, you know,
right.
and that's not realistic, man. So
Yeah.
once you know who you are, you know what you want,
Mhm.
then you go into a relationship or even just courting or meeting somebody, you
Right.
go into it with a little bit more foundation that, okay, this is who I am.
Yeah.
Oh, she's like, oh babe, you want to go to the club, you want to go do this? No, that's not what I'm about right now.
Yeah.
I'm going to do this, but you need somebody that understands that. And
Yeah.
then eventually, if she's a good enough woman, you'll start to peel back those layers to see the real foundation for her too,
Yeah.
right? And then it
Yeah.
may not be the right one. It may be like, okay, well, I'm going this direction, and she seems to be going this direction.
Right.
But this don't really work out,
Hmm. Hmm.
So I think that's where just knowing who you are, man, and what you want, and being firm in that, like, and still be that, chivalry ain't dead. Still be that gentleman. Still do that,
Yeah. Yeah.
and,
Yeah.
still do all that, open car doors, still
Yeah.
got to do all that, man. But you'll start to see
Mm.
her true colors will start to see, you'll start to see that eventually.
Yeah.
So just take your time, don't rush into it, and
Yeah.
it'll all fall in place.
And when you say don't rush into it, like at a certain age, would you be like, okay, a man really shouldn't consider getting married until like a certain age? Like what age would you think that, and I know it depends on the person, but typically, you know,
Mm.
it's a certain age, right? You have a number, you kind of be like, well, at least what's that number?
Yeah, you know what, man? That's a tough question, man, because I think as long as you know who you are, right? I
Right.
think the timeline gets shorter when you
Hmm.
know who you are.
Right.
If you don't know who you are, then that timeline gets longer, if that makes any sense. So
Okay.
let's just take it from an example of somebody who knows who they are, right?
Right. Right. Right.
You just finished graduating college
Mm.
or prep school, whatever you're doing, got your business, whatever,
Right. Right.
you meet somebody, man. I truly believe that you should get to know that person, and within a 6 month time frame, you could
Yeah.
tell if,
Yeah.
like, this is it. You
Yeah.
probably might even know sooner,
Yeah.
but I would definitely say within the 6 month time frame, you should know.
But if
And
you, but what's that time like? Okay, 6 months. Yeah, I got an idea that she's okay, but now we at the 3 year mark, and I still don't know if like, you know, she the one I'm gonna rock with, I'm married with. What's that doubt? What do you think? What do you think about that?
oh man, well, I mean, that's again, I think goes back to, man, like, understanding what you want. You
Mm,
gotta know what you want.
like what's your end game?
Like, what's your end game? Like,
Mm,
are you just playing a game? You playing that, like, that you got that card in the deck that you just sitting on,
yeah,
like, you got the other like, what's the real story behind it,
yeah,
so there's always a story.
yeah,
But if it just ain't gonna be like, if it's been 3 years and all
yeah,
this kind of stuff, then you either need to say, yeah, let's go ahead and lock this in,
yeah,
or at the same time, to the woman, what do you want? Like, are
yeah,
you telling me, like, do you want to get married? Like, what are
right,
we doing?
yeah,
Defining that at an
yeah,
early age, man, early on, defining that. She said, well, I don't want to get married right now. I love you. We cool. All of
mm,
that. It's
mm,
only you. I'm
mm,
focused on my career. You focus on your career,
yeah,
and we'll make it. We'll go from there. But we know we love each other and all that. Like, if you have those conversations, then that's one thing.
right,
But if y'all ain't talking and you ain't having those conversations, then what are you doing? Like, you just
yeah.
wasting your life, wasting time.
Wasting time, can't get back. Nah, I agree. I
Man,
agree.
I was married at 26.
Mhm.
you know, so I mean, but I was in college when
Yeah,
I met my wife, but
yeah,
still, even then, throughout the whole college time, it was like, yeah, yeah,
man.
this, yeah, you know, I was like, yeah. I mean, I
Yeah.
may not have wanted to at
Mhm.
the time because I was just, being me, but I was like, yeah, you know, like, yeah,
Yeah,
this, yeah, she
yeah.
real.
You gonna rock with it, yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna
But
rock with this one.
I like the fact that you brought up college because it kind of ties into a question I had in mind uh about common sense versus book education, right?
Mm.
So like it's kind of like, well, which one would you uh place more emphasis on whenever a kid? Of course, it's naturally be equally yoked, equally equally balanced, but still, one has to supersede the other. So I kind of feel like I like to know which one that you would think that a young man should have an abundance of versus
Definitely, I think definitely common sense for sure.
Mhm.
Because common sense will tell you some things that you need to know about being in a relationship with somebody.
Mhm.
Like you might not notice that your wife or girlfriend is having a bad day. Like common sense will tell you. Like look at her. Like common sense will tell you there's something wrong. Like
Yeah.
something ain't right. Like come on, man. Ain't no book ain't gonna tell you that she having a bad day
Yeah.
today. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I mean, it's just those are some of the things, man. I think that you learned along the lines, along the way. You're like, yeah, okay, definitely
Mhm.
have. But then you gotta balance it too. You
Yeah.
definitely gotta have some book sense for sure.
Yeah.
But, if you ain't got no common sense, man, it's gonna be a tough road.
Mm. And what kind of trades would you think, like, say a guy he's not really, in the academics like that? What kind of trades do you think that, maybe, as a young black man, he might consider, he might need to consider,
You know what, man? I mean, that's a good question. There's a whole lot of trades out here, man. These people just not. I don't know if they just think that's below them or what, man. But there's some plumbers out here that's starting
Mm-hmm.
their own business, making some money.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah,
There's some electricians out here that's making some money, man.
yeah,
It's all kind of people out here that's doing big, man.
yeah.
That you could really just pick up that trade, whether it's construction, like like man, I can't even tell you. I'm looking for somebody now to build a door, like
Yeah,
in my house. Like if I
yeah,
knew somebody that could do that, that was a young black entrepreneur, I'd be like, hey man, look, I need this door built in my house. Like, you think you can do that? Like,
yeah,
it's hard to find those. You got to
yeah,
like go out and search and and find somebody else to do it, man.
yeah,
So that would definitely be one, man, because that's something that everybody's gonna need.
yeah.
And always picking up that kind of trade, I think it's good.
Yeah, yeah. And I like that. And I like that. And I guess it all comes from, like I said, our surroundings are who we see, what I mean? I know like growing up, I always tell everybody the story. I was like, man, all I saw was like factory workers, and
Hmm.
that was the thing. That was the
Yeah,
move. Go get that
yeah.
job, go work in the factory, you know what I
But I want to go. I gonna want to go work at Thomas Built Buses.
Yeah,
I'm gonna build some buses. They getting paid over
yeah,
there.
yeah. You get on there, you good. You put the whole team on. I'm gonna get you out.
Yeah. Yeah. Everybody, we winning out here, boy. We winning. Working hard as I don't know
Yeah.
what.
Yeah, that's how I felt. But I think something changed throughout the years, man. And it's like it's not people don't respect the hardworking man anymore. You see what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
And for that matter, which ties into another question that I have is about respect in general. Like, what I mean? Like, do you think it's the discord between uh adolescents or older teens and adults? Like, is there a lack of respect, and is it one-sided or is it two-sided?
Yeah, I mean, I think again, I think it all goes down to, man, respect is something that's just like, I don't know, you gotta respect yourself, like,
Mm,
and I think, is it lacking? Yeah, I think it is lacking a little bit, and I think a lot of people are not really understanding the term respect. They
mm,
want to be respected
mm,
without understanding and respecting themselves, and
mm,
I think that's a recipe for disaster too. But
mm,
if you demand respect, then that's what's going to gravitate towards you.
mm,
So I think it's definitely a lack in that, man. And I think just having that discussion with the young adult that's just again, it's part of your upbringing. Like I have
Right.
2 young boys, but one thing they know for certain is they
Mm.
gonna respect that. Like
Yeah.
you're not gonna come out your mouth say nothing crazy.
Yeah.
You're not going, you know, and then if you're not gonna say around me, you're not gonna get on the bus and say nothing to an adult. Like that's
Yeah.
crazy. Like, you
Yeah.
know, it's all about those teachings, those principles that you put in, you know, your child, man.
Yeah.
So it's just it's just sickening. It's crazy to see a child that's just disrespectful. That's for me is like,
Right.
man, dog, I don't care who you are, man. That boils me, man. I hate that. Like, I hate that. I hate to see a
Yeah.
child or a young adult that's just have no respect.
Right.
Um, so yeah, man, it just comes from upbringing, man.
But so
It-
do you feel like when we were growing up, it was, you respect your elders on face value. So do you feel like, like these kids, should they automatically give an adult respect, or should it
yeah.
be earned? Like, you know what I mean? Like do adult have to earn it with the kid?
I mean, no, I think anybody you give respect to,
Mm.
if that's what you want back. I think highly that you know you put in this world what you want back from it. So
Mm.
you know, if you want to be respected, you got to put that out there.
Yeah.
Um, and you know, it's hard for somebody that age to, I guess, to kind of you know correlate the two.
Mm.
But you know, yeah, man, you just gotta. It always comes down to how do you respect yourself. Like, you know, you talking crazy to an adult,
Yeah.
then where do you learn that from?
Yeah.
So you're learning that from somebody,
Yeah.
and if you're the person that's doing that, if some young kid out there listening to this now, if you're one kid that's doing that,
Yeah.
you need to recognize there's a part of you that know that you shouldn't be doing something,
Yeah.
right? And so that all ties back into that integrity the
Mm.
piece, man. If you're doing that, if you know who you are at home, you know, in the dark, you're still the same person. You're not disrespecting anybody. You kind of get those principles,
Mm.
then it's going to show in the light, man. It's going to manifest out into the world. So you definitely going to get that respect back if you're putting it out there.
Well, and I guess that kind of leads me to this question. I know we're approaching our time, so I kind of want to get this question out because it seems to be a hot topic, especially with the climate of the environment right now that we're in.
Yeah.
With Black people and police officers. So it's like, well, what advice do you tell these kids when they're interacting with a police officer? Given
Mhm.
how escalated these interactions have became over the past several months. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man, and that's I mean that's a good question, man. I think for you know for one, uh, gosh, man, you, you just got to understand that you know there are some people out there that really don't give a you know what about you,
Mm.
and you need to know that like for real because
Mm.
it's true.
Mm.
um, I think that having some self dignity and self respect and understand a little bit of the law, man. Understanding
Mm.
what a police officer should and shouldn't ask you to do,
Right.
you know, things like that, and you know, without making too many sudden moves. You know, it's sad to say, but we've got to teach our children that,
Yeah.
and you know, being very careful. I remember a story, man, when I was young. Gosh, it never occurred to me that something could have happened to me like that, man. I think I was at a store one day. I was driving a car,
Mm.
and I went to the store. My lights was off. I don't know why. I think the car was broke or something. But I wanted to go to the store and get some
Yeah.
candy. You know, I
Yeah.
was driving, and I had the munchies or something.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, I just drove the car, man, and you know, and I was doing some things I probably shouldn't have did. But you
Mm.
know, the cop pulled us over,
Yeah.
and you know, my lights was off, you know, and here I am, just like, but I knew enough to be like, okay, you know, yes, sir, no,
Yeah.
I don't have any, no, that's fine, you know, but if you'd have been like, oh, can I search your car? And be like, no, officer, you're gonna need a warrant for that, you know,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
had I known that, but you know, I
Yeah.
was a young man, but still I complied with what the officer was saying, just as
Yeah.
long as it made sense that, okay, this is the reason why you're asking, because, you
Yeah.
know, you looking a little crazy out
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
You know, so I think I had to take a step back. And I was thankful, man, because I
Mm.
mean, I did have some stuff in the car that probably could have, you know, took a different turn.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, so yeah, I think about that time from time to time, man. But yeah, I mean, I definitely would say just, you know, to make any sudden moves, if you need to get something out your glove compartments, tell the officer, hey, I'm going to reach in my glove compartment. You know, try your best not to put it yourself in any of those situations,
Yeah.
you know, but when you're interacting with a police officer, you know, I hate to say just comply with everything he say, because that's not what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, be mindful of your body movements
Yeah.
and your response, you
Yeah.
know. And that's all I'm gonna say about that.
Well, that's what's up. Well, yeah, man. Like I say, man, I try to keep everything on the minimum. Like I say, I didn't get through all my questions, but I still have some. If you're comfortable, man, we'd love to have you back and just kind of keep the conversation going, man, and just keep it moving. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
something you be up
yeah.
for? All
Yeah,
right.
man, this was cool. This was cool, man. I'm definitely down. Just let me know, man. I can talk for days, man. I wish there was somebody that was doing this when I was young, man. So
Yeah.
this is good, man. This is real good, man. It was good talking to you.
Hey, man, you got any closing statements? Anything you want to say to the nephews right quick before we end
Oh
it?
man, look, man, I'm just like, do you have fun out there? But no, you got Uncle T, you got people you can reach out to if you have any questions, how to navigate this thing called life, man, because it'll knock you down. But you got to know when to get back up, man. Keep integrity first, respect, honor, God, not in necessarily that order, and you'll be all right.
Well, all right. You guys heard it. Hey, Uncle T, we appreciate you having, man. One love, bro. And we'll be talking to you soon. All right.
All right, bro. Appreciate you, man.
I appreciate you.